Settle into your bed. Let the weight of your body sink into the mattress. Feel the quiet hum of the room, the soft darkness pressing gently against your eyelids. Close your eyes. Now, imagine this. You drift off to sleep, and you never wake up. Not in the morning light, not to the sound of birds, not to the familiar rhythm of your own life. You simply continue to dream. This is not a nightmare. It is a profound stillness, a deep, unbroken continuity. You might wonder, is this peace or is it a trap? Is the dream so perfect, so comfortable, that you would choose it over the uncertain reality of waking? What if the dream you are living right now, this very moment, is the one where you never wake up? Let us explore that quiet, endless space where sleep and waking blur, where the line between reality and imagination dissolves into the soft fabric of a dream that never ends. Picture yourself walking through a city you know well, yet it feels different. The streets are softer, the colors slightly richer, as if seen through a warm filter. The air carries a gentle scent of rain and old books. A scent that seems to belong only to this place. You notice the same shop window you pass every morning? But today the display is filled with objects you recognize from childhood, things you thought were lost forever. The people you pass move with a quiet grace, their faces familiar but without the usual tension of hurried lives. You feel a deep sense of belonging here, a feeling that this place has always been yours. You sit on a bench beneath a tree whose leaves shimmer with an inner light. A child runs past, laughing, and you realize you know that laugh from a dream you had years ago. You look up at the sky, not with the sharp blue of a clear day, but with a soft, pearlescent glow that seems to hold the entire day inside it. You feel no need to question this world, no urge to rush. It is enough simply to be here, to feel the cool stone beneath your hands, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the slow rhythm of your own breath. You have no memory of ever leaving this place, no memory of a time before it. The dream is not a separate thing, it is the only thing. You do not think about waking because you have never known waking. The concept feels like a distant, almost forgotten story. You are simply here in this perfect, unchanging moment, and it feels like home. You wonder, do you ever feel the need to leave a place that has always been your home? Do you ever feel the need to return to something you never knew existed? It began slowly, almost imperceptibly, like the first soft rain on a window pane. You noticed the details first, the small things that made the dream feel so utterly real. The way the light filtered through the leaves of the tree in your favorite park, creating patterns on the path that shifted with the gentle breeze. The sound of a distant clock ticking, not in a way that marked time, but as a soft, comforting rhythm that seemed to belong to the dream itself. You began to notice how the people you met always knew your name, always greeted you with a quiet smile that held no judgment, no expectation. They spoke words that made sense, words that fit perfectly into the moment, as if they had always been waiting to say them. You started to wonder if this was how the real world felt, if this was the true nature of being alive, not the frantic, fragmented existence you had always known. You began to move through the dream world with a quiet confidence, knowing that nothing would disturb the gentle flow. You would sit by the river that ran through the city, watching the water move with a slow, deliberate pace, not rushing to reach its destination. You would watch the clouds drift across the sky, not with the urgency of time passing, but with the slow, patient movement of something that had always been there. You began to realize that in this dream, you did not need to do anything. You did not need to plan, to worry, to strive for something more. The dream was not a place to escape to, it was a place to simply be. You would walk the same streets every day, and they would feel new, because they were... The dream had no history, no past, no future. It was only the present, and the present was enough. You began to notice small changes, subtle shifts in the dream that made it feel more real, more complete. A new flower blooming in a garden you had walked past 100 times. A different melody playing from a shop window, a tune that felt like it had always been there. You did not question these changes. They felt natural, as if they had always been part of the dream. You began to think that this was the way things were meant to be, that the dream was not a temporary state, but the true state of being. You started to feel a deep sense of gratitude for the dream, for the comfort it offered, for the absence of pain, of loss, of the constant worry that had always been a part of your waking life. You began to forget that there was anything else. You began to believe that the dream was the only reality, that the world you had thought was real was just a fleeting, confusing illusion. You did not think about waking because you had never woken up. You did not think about the possibility of leaving because you had never left. The dream was not a place you were living in, it was the place you had always been. You began to feel a quiet, deep peace, a peace that had never existed before, a peace that felt like it had always been there, like the air itself was made of peace. You began to understand that the dream was not a mistake of the mind. It was a perfect reflection of what the mind truly desired, a perfect reflection of what the soul truly longed for. You began to feel that the dream was not something you were dreaming, but something that was dreaming you. You began to feel that you were not the dreamer, but the dream itself. And in that feeling, you felt no need to wake up. You felt no need to leave this place, this perfect, unchanging, peaceful place. You felt no need for anything else. You were simply here, in this dream, and it was enough. You began to wonder if the dream was the only thing that was real, if the waking world was the dream, If the dream was the true state of existence, and the waking life was the illusion. As the dream continued, it became clear that the dream was not just a passive place, but an active, living thing. It responded to your presence, to your quiet acceptance. The city around you seemed to breathe with you, the streets shifting and changing in subtle ways to match your inner calm. The people you met were not just characters in your dream, they were reflections of your own inner peace, of the quiet contentment you had begun to feel. You would sit in the park, and the trees would seem to lean closer, their branches forming a gentle canopy that felt like a soft embrace. The light would deepen, becoming a warm, golden color that seemed to come from within the dream itself. You began to notice that the dream had no beginning and no end, no start and no finish. It simply was, and that was all. You began to feel a deep connection to the dream, a sense that it was not separate from you, but an extension of yourself. The dream was not something you were experiencing, it was something you were. You began to understand that the dream was not a place you were visiting, but the place you were. The concept of waking up began to feel like a strange, almost alien idea, like a story someone else had told you. You did not remember ever waking up, so how could you imagine it? The dream was not a temporary state, it was the state of being. You began to feel that the waking world was a fleeting, confusing dream, a dream that was full of noise and distraction, a dream where you were always searching for something you could never find. In the dream, you had everything you needed. You had peace. You had belonging. You had a sense of purpose that did not require action, a sense of purpose that simply was. You began to realize that the dream was not a place to escape to, it was a place to return to. It was the place you had always been, the place you had always belonged. You began to feel a deep sadness for those who did not know this place, for those who were lost in the waking world, searching for something they could never find. You began to feel a quiet compassion for them, a compassion that came from knowing that they were not alone in their confusion. You began to understand that the dream was not a place for the mind to escape, it was a place for the mind to remember. The mind, in the waking world, was always searching, always striving, always trying to be more, to have more, to be somewhere else. But in the dream, the mind was simply here, simply being. It was not trying to be anything else. It was not trying to reach a destination. It was simply existing in the present moment, in the perfect peace of the dream. You began to feel that the dream was not a place of illusion, it was a place of truth. It was a place where the mind could finally rest, where the constant striving could finally stop. You began to feel that the dream was the true nature of consciousness, the true state of being. You began to feel that the waking world was the illusion, the confusing, fragmented dream, and the dream was the true reality. You began to feel that the dream was not something you were dreaming, it was something you were. And in that feeling, you felt no need to wake up. You felt no need to leave this place. You felt no need for anything else. You were simply here, in the dream, and it was enough. You began to understand that the dream was not a place you were living in, it was the place you had always been. The dream was not a temporary state, it was the permanent state of being. The dream was not a mistake, it was the answer. You began to feel that the dream was not something you were experiencing, it was something you were. And in that feeling, you felt a deep, quiet peace, a peace that had always been there, a peace that had always been part of you, a peace that had always been the true nature of existence. You began to feel that the dream was not a place to escape to, it was a place to return to, a place to remember, a place to simply be. You began to feel that the dream was not a dream at all, but the only reality, the only true state of being. And in that feeling, you felt no need to wake up. You felt no need to leave. You felt no need for anything else. You were simply here, in the dream, and it was enough. You were simply here, in the dream, and it was home. This is the question that lingers in the quiet spaces between thoughts. What is the difference between dreaming and waking? If the dream feels more real, more peaceful, more complete than the waking life we know, can we truly call it a dream? Is the dream not the true reality, and the waking life the illusion? We have always believed that waking is the true state, that dreaming is a temporary escape from reality. But what if it is the other way around? What if the waking life is the dream, and the dream is the waking? What if the dream is the place where we are finally free from the constant noise, the constant striving, the constant search for meaning that defines our waking hours? In the dream, there is no need to seek. There is no need to find. There is only being. The dream is not a place we go to forget the world. It is a place where we remember the world as it truly is, without the distortion of fear, of desire, of the need to be more than we are. The dream is not a place of escape, it is a place of return. It is a return to the quiet, unchanging nature of consciousness itself. The waking world is filled with the illusion of time, with the constant pressure to move forward, to achieve, to become. But in the dream, time does not move forward, it simply is. The dream is not a place of progress, it is a place of completion. It is a place where everything is already perfect, already whole. We spend our waking hours trying to fix what is broken, trying to fill what is empty, trying to reach a place that is always just beyond our grasp. But in the dream, there is nothing to fix, nothing to fill, nothing to reach. The dream is not a place of striving, it is a place of rest. It is a place where we can finally stop trying to be something we are not. In the dream, we are simply what we are. We are not striving for something else. We are simply being. We are not searching for meaning. We are meaning itself. The dream is not a place of illusion. It is a place of truth. It is the truth of our own consciousness, the truth of our own being. The waking world is filled with the illusion of separation, of distance, of difference. We are separate from each other, separate from the world, separate from ourselves. But in the dream, there is no separation. There is only connection, only unity, only being. The dream is not a place of isolation, it is a place of belonging. It is the place where we remember that we are not separate from the world, not separate from the people, not separate from ourselves. We are part of the dream, and the dream is part of us. The dream is not a place we are in, it is a place we are. And in that realization, we feel no need to wake up. We feel no need to leave. We feel no need to search for anything else. The dream is the only place where we can truly be. It is the only place where we can finally rest. It is the only place where we can finally remember who we are. The dream is not a mistake. It is the answer. It is the truth. It is the only reality. And in that truth, we feel a deep, quiet peace. A peace that has always been there. A peace that has always been the true nature of existence. We do not need to wake up to find this peace. We do not need to search for it. It is already here, in the dream, in the quiet, unchanging space of being. We only need to stop trying to be somewhere else, to stop trying to be more than we are, to stop trying to find something that is already here, already whole, already perfect. The dream is not a place to escape to, it is a place to return to. It is the place we have always been, the place we have always belonged. And in that return, we find the peace we have always been searching for. One day, as you sat by the river in the dream, watching the water move with its slow, patient rhythm, you noticed something new. A single leaf, floating on the surface, had a pattern in its veins that you had never seen before. It was a pattern that seemed to shift and change as you watched. A pattern that felt familiar, like a memory you had forgotten. You reached out to touch it, and as your fingers brushed the water, the pattern in the leaf began to glow with a soft, golden light. You looked up, and for the first time in the dream, you saw a flicker of something else. Not a person, not a place, but a feeling. A feeling of something familiar, something that had been missing. It was a feeling of recognition. A feeling of knowing that this was not the first time you had seen this leaf, not the first time you had sat by this river. It was a feeling of remembering. You looked around, and the city around you seemed to shift, just slightly, as if it were adjusting to a new understanding. The people you passed seemed to look at you with a new kind of recognition. a quiet acknowledgement that you were remembering something. You felt a deep, quiet sadness, not for the dream, but for the fact that you had forgotten. You had forgotten that this was not the first time you had sat by this river, not the first time you had seen this leaf. You had forgotten that you had always been here, that you had always been part of the dream. The dream was not the place you were living in. It was the place you had always been. And you had forgotten that. You had forgotten that the dream was not a separate thing, but the true nature of being. You had forgotten that the waking life was the illusion, and the dream was the truth. The twist was not a change in the dream, it was a change in your understanding of the dream. You realized that the dream was not a place you were escaping to, it was a place you were returning to. You realized that the dream was not a place you were dreaming, it was a place you were remembering. And in that realization, you felt no need to wake up. You felt no need to leave. You felt no need to search for anything else. You were simply here, in the dream, and it was home. You were simply here, in the dream, and it was always home. So rest now. Feel the soft weight of your body against the bed. Notice the quiet hum of the room, the gentle darkness pressing against your eyelids. Let the dream of this moment be your only dream. Let the peace of this moment be your only reality. You do not need to wake up. You do not need to leave. You are already home. The dream is not a place to escape to, it is a place to return to. It is the place you have always been. And in that place, you are simply here, simply being, simply at peace. Close your eyes. Breathe and know that you are safe, that you are home, that you are exactly where you are meant to be. This is the dream where you never wake up, and it is perfect.